Hey everyone, this is Master Cauldron. Before we get started, I just want you to know that the audio quality in this episode is pretty poor. This was recorded in our first live broadcast at cauldronscript.com/live. I'll be doing these every couple of weeks on Saturday evenings about 9 o'clock. Unfortunately, the bandwidth that I had available this evening was pretty poor. There is a lot of good information in here, and I hope that you enjoy it despite the abnormally low quality of the audio. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to visit us at cauldronscript.com/live every other Saturday. And with that said, here's that intro you know and love.
Welcome. Welcome to my dungeon.
Welcome to Cauldron's Crypt. I'm your host, Master Cauldron. If you're new to the show, this is a place to dispel myths, get rid of stereotypes, and answer your questions about BDSM. You can call in at 865-268-4005 to leave your questions or visit the crypt at cauldronscrypt.com. Today, we are doing a live show that is at cauldronscrypt.com/live YouTube. And look up on there, just search for Cauldron. But all the chat will take place at cauldronscrypt.com/live. All right. So a question come in today from someone who is in the chat room right now. I don't want to say her name. And forgive me because for the life of me, I cannot remember your pet name, but I don't want to out your regular name on the show. So the question is, how is the dynamic between a master and a middle? For those of you that don't know, a middle is like a teenage little. So you've got your littles, your little girls. This is a middle girl. And, oh yes, Forsaken Nymph. Thank you very much. One of my favorite names, and I couldn't remember it. Thought it was very clever. Anyway, so a middle is like a late tween to a teenager. And how can that dynamic be possible between them and a master? And the answer to that is it depends. As I always say with most of this stuff, it's your BDSM. You make it what you want it. So there is no really defined answer. Now, I have had someone who was a middle. Her persona was a 15-year-old, and I was her master, and that worked out fine because I had a nurturing time, and it was actually the start. If you've listened to recent episodes, you know that I have dropped down in protocol, and she was kind of the one that got that started. So with her being a middle, me being a master, I relaxed some of the protocol and really brought out the nurturing side of myself, which is my favorite side that I unfortunately don't get to play as often as I would like. But yeah, so it can be done, absolutely. But it just depends on the people involved with the dynamic itself. So what other questions do people have? I know masters with littles and various other things. So about the only various other things that I have hanging here are a bunch of toys, which we could go over or not. Is there? All right. Yeah, this being the initial live show, I mean, I did one over a year ago, but it was just audio. It wasn't video as well. I would love to be able to do a demo for you, but I don't think YouTube would like that. What about high protocol with someone that is fear-driven naturally? I found that to be my issue with recent MS dynamic I guess you were in. I feared punishment too much. Wow, good topic. That is an interesting question. Suchi's chatting with Daddy while listening. Well, tell him to jump on here. I'd love to talk to him. I told you that earlier today. So, Forsaken Nymph, back to your question. What about high protocol with someone that is fear-driven naturally? I found that to be my issue with the recent MS dynamic that you were in. I feared punishment too much. That is not that uncommon. Now, I can't remember your level of involvement within the community. If I'm not mistaken, you do have some experience, but that is not uncommon. In fact, the person that I'm currently with is 100% fear driven in nearly everything in her life except for work. And there it's only about 50%, which is why she has been able to excel at work and become in the position that she's in now, which I'm very proud of her for, even though I had nothing to do with that because I'd actually went into play before we were together. But for a dominant or a master, there is nothing better than taking someone who is so fear driven and watching them transform. It's actually a topic of conversation in my dynamic right now as to what it's about. Is this about growth? Is this about love and BF kind of stuff? And no, that's for me, it is about her growth. It is about my growth, our growth together, whether it's short term or long term, hopefully, very much, hopefully, very long term. But that depends on if I can continue to push myself to make the relationship valuable to her, or if she will eventually have to go on and find someone else to further her education and her growth, which is what commonly happens. And that's often very upsetting to people. It's scary to talk about because I have slow played this dynamic intentionally because I had been away from a dynamic that was incredibly intense, as everyone has heard me talk about before. And I went into frenzy and things went crazy with my home life because I wasn't thinking episode. And then in the episode about NRE, new relationship energy. And so intentionally, when this one came about, I slowed things way down and made sure, as hard as it has been at times, to maintain, I don't want to say professional, but that's really the only thing that I can compare it to is like on my job and my previous jobs, being a professional and making sure that I think before I make it, because otherwise it would cause things to blow up. I mean, one of the biggest, and I hate to sound really judgy, but I'm going to be, but one of the dumbest things that is, oh, new, fancy, dynamic. It's awesome. I'm going to collar you. And yay, daddy's going to collar me, or mommy's going to collar me, or ma'am, or sir, or mistress. You've been together a month, 2 months. No, don't do that. That is newbie. That is frenzy. And it's going to blow up in your face, which is apparently one of my favorite things to say lately is face. So you got to take your time and build. That's one thing that 50 shaders or newbies in general, whether they're coming in because of 50 Shades or because it's just something that they've been drawn to, that's one of the things that they are almost all of them making the same mistake on. And you've got to slow yourself down. You have to understand that collar is not something that I take lightly or you should take lightly. If you get into the history of kink, of leather, and what that collar symbolizes, that's like a wedding ring. It has that much commitment. Obviously, it's not legally binding, but it has that much commitment. And all you people out there who are tops, dominants, masters, with somebody a month, 2 months, 3 months, and you're throwing a collar on them, you want to put a collar on them, use a training collar. Use a play collar first. Get them used to wearing a collar through play. It goes on at the beginning of play. It comes off at the end of aftercare. After that, go to a training collar. I didn't wear it all the time. When you are together, when they see you, they kneel, they present their collar, you put it on them, they're wearing it, and then when you leave, it is taken off. They're wearing it only while in training. Let that last for a period of time. The play collar should go on for months, if not years, if it's a serious relationship. Then you've got the training collar, which is 4 weeks, maybe 2 months, depending on your style. And then you have the collar, capital T. That's the one that's, like your wedding ring. You got your playtime, then you've got like your engagement ring. Only in our world, that engagement ring, that training collar can go on and off. And then you have the collar. That is someone that I'm or something that, I am very much wanting or not wanting to. I am working toward with my trainee right now. And she's sitting in the room across from me. I had promised her a gift tonight, and fortunately, get to go get it today. I was confused on the days, given that I had little to no sleep. My mistake. And folks, I'm not perfect. I'm willing to admit that, but it was my mistake. She will be receiving that very soon, and that will be her training collar. Now, after training, and because I'm gone 5-6 days a week, we only get to spend one evening together. So that training period is going to be an extended period of time. It's going to be a few months, probably 2 to 4 months. And then she will have the choice, and I will have the choice. My choice is to offer her a collar. Her choice is whether or not to receive it. But don't jump into that. I know there's been some comments. Suchi says, oh my God, yes, collaring has become a fad in a way. I don't think it's really in a way. I think it has just absolutely become a fad that really needs to stop. I mean, if you want to wear a collar for a fashion statement, fine, do what you want to do, but don't accept one or don't give one when it's too early, when you don't know what you're committing to. By the time it comes for me to offer her her collar, there's not any questions. We will absolutely know, though she would claim that she already absolutely knows. There's still trials and tribulations. There's still some very intense training. There's also something that is required by me, which is for myself to earn her trust enough to have one evening of TPE, total power exchange. Not that I expect our dynamic to be TPE after she collared. She will not be my slave. I don't know exactly, because of her personal mountains to climb, her proving to me that she trusts me as much as I trust her. And I don't her personal mountains. She has very much earned them, and it is by no fault of her own that she has these to overcome. But I need that trust, and without it, then there is no us. So when that can take place, when I've done enough to earn it, and when she has done enough work to open herself up to be able to offer it, that's when things will move. And sorry, I got distracted by something in the chat room. It says, are kitten pet play collars different than what you're speaking of? It depends on what you mean by that. I mean, is someone that kitten pet play collar? Because my middle that I referred to earlier, she was also a pet. Now, she wasn't like a kitten, kinda. She kind of was, but I mean, there wasn't like it was more like a pet princess kind of thing. So you'll have to give me a little bit more information about that. I think, if your kitten pet play collar and you wear that when you're scening with somebody, for me, I'm relaxed enough now where it wouldn't be a big deal. But if someone is giving it to you as a sign of ownership or dominance over you, they really need to earn that right. And you need to make them earn that right. Dollar comparison to marriage, engagement rings. Well, hello, Lady Katie. Wow. Welcome to the party. It's so true. It's well, let me finish Forsaken Nymph's question here. But yeah, that's one of those things where it depends. It depends on your dynamic. Now, you take what I said about the importance of collars and the different steps. Now, if I was to give someone a play collar that I just met, that would be a scene collar, not a training collar, not a full collar, as I refer to it. So I think that's okay. But I will also say, and I've done this before, and it didn't go very well. I walked in. She knew she didn't know I was coming over. And this is not my current. This was actually several years ago. I showed up at her house and she was wearing her training collar. Now, that training collar is only supposed to be on her when I tell her to put it on, when we're together or when she is doing tasks that I have given her. So that was some fun punishment for me, not for her. But yeah, just something else to go along with the collar conversation. If somebody is buying their own pet collar, sure, why not? Or if somebody's giving you one, just wear it for scenes, though. Make sure that you understand and that they understand the meaning of collars. Cuffs. I always wear cuffs. My current went through painstaking measures to find out if it was inappropriate to buy me cuffs for Christmas. And I've got two of them. I wear one, old leather thing with the cuffs that you wear and what they mean, which I'm not going to really go into a lot of detail about. But sorry about it. For some reason, I had to reconnect it. But yeah, every piece of leather has a certain meaning. We need to know that and what that is. There's a lot of great books that will go into detail about that. And we kind of talk about it from time to time, just in bits and pieces on the show. So, but yeah, I was proud of her because she really did her research to find out if it was appropriate or not for her to give me a cuff. And finally it was determined, yeah, that'd be okay. So, and when I got it, I was happy. My old ones were about to need retired. I didn't find it inappropriate at all. I thought it was very sweet. However, in a leather household, that would have been different. She wouldn't have been allowed to do that without asking my permission first to purchase them for me. Whether it was Christmas or whatever, that would be considered a big no-no. In a leather family, your cuffs have. I said I wasn't going to give a rundown. It's a fun topic. I'll give a quick rundown of it. So when you're being mentored to join a household, a lot of houses you'll get a cuff, or they'll have their own thing. A lot of them cuffs, obviously. And then as you progress through that into a member, there's certain things that'll happen, like you may only wear one, or the types of cuffs will change given your station in the house. And remember, when I say station, I don't mean your value. Everybody treats everybody with an honor. My house motto is respect above all else, because that covers everything. If you have respect with people, then you're not going to lie to them. You're not going to deceive them. You're not going to steal from them. So respect above all else is my house motto. But as you move through this process, your types of cuffs may change. The hand that you wear them on, you may receive pins to put in them, signifying the house itself. There are so many different things that you can do. So a friend made me a kitten collar that I wear with my ears. Those kitten ears, and I met somebody a few years ago before it got popular. Awesome. Princess Puddles, welcome to the party. I got some of my most favoriteest people in the chat room tonight supporting me. You guys are freaking awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, no, if a friend of yours makes you a collar, you want to wear that yours. I mean, that's different. That's not like, oh, we just met. We've been in a relationship for a couple of weeks. You got your kitten ears. You want to do some little kitty primal play, and here's you a collar. No, the gifting of a collar is special and meaningful. And that engagement ring or that wedding ring way of looking at it that Lady Katie pointed out, it's a ceremony. When I collar mine, there will be a ceremony with some of our closest friends. It will be a very big thing. And I'm going to make it a big thing because I know what it means. And by then, if she doesn't already, she will understand that it's not something to be taken lightly. Lady Katie, Suchi, Princess Pills, Forsaken Nymph. I know Lady Catherine is also supposed to be on here. She just hasn't chimed in. Anybody else have any other topics? So while I'm looking this up, I'm going to do this from time to time. I think this is a great space to do it in. Some of you local will be getting an invite to this space at some point soon when we get it finished. I got a little bit more work to do. No, fun size is definitely no. We're doing it every couple of weeks. She and I are going to record every other week. I didn't have an episode, and I'm trying to get episodes out on Saturday nights, as some of you have noticed the past couple of weeks, or early Sunday morning. So that's what's up with that. But no, Fun Size is not leaving the show. You've heard that conversation recently in an episode, or maybe you haven't. But she'll be back with me tomorrow to record an episode that I'll have out next Saturday and surprise her, because she is dealing with burnout. And that was the episode that we announced that she was only going to be with me every other week. But this one is hurt versus harm. So that's what we'll be talking about tomorrow. And that episode will launch the 16th, late evening, early morning, Sunday the 17th. So that's the scoop on that. Let me talk interests for a minute. If you go to cauldronscript.com survey, it will take you to a limits and interest survey. Now, this thing is an extensive list that is really, really good to go over. You've heard us talk about it on the show. If you've never done it, jump on there and do it. I don't read these things, and the way that I've got it set up, because I didn't want any fear from people of worrying about being spammed. So all you have to do is fill it out. You put your email address in there, yes, but it emails it to you, and it emails it into a folder, so I don't have to worry about it ever seeing it, reading it, whatever. It gets into a lot of things. If you had the thing about it is good for veterans of the lifestyle, because you change, as I do on my profile, where every 6 months to a year, I'll do the BDSMtest.org and update that. And then I post it so people can see how I evolve and change. And I can too, obviously. But some people will fill this thing out, they've told me, every 2-3 months, because they're new and they're becoming educated and they're learning. And, when you're new, that's when when you should be the most, even though your education should obviously never stop. But where this really comes into play is in relationships. When you're new, you can take this survey, get it out, and everything that you don't know or that you weren't real sure about, like gates of hell, figging. I could never remember what it's called, but it is it's like band Dorito. No, that's not it. Band Dorito. Wow, I guess it's special chips made for band camp. Band camp. I shoved a piece of ginger up someone's booty. That is what figging is, or one form of figging. But basically, the thing that I'm trying to think of is where you punish the soles of someone's feet. And for the life of me, I cannot remember what it's called, but it's on there. There's all kinds of stuff. I have a hard time relating to littles, and I'm never sure how to approach or interact. Topic. All right. Social setting. How and speak to them. That is not the most common discussed form, however. Such a girl in the chat just happens to be a little one. We've been friends, I think, or known each other since I was about 6 years old. And little headspace, yeah, you can. That is actually a very, because hard question. And whippingstripes.com, while I'm thinking of it. They're my personal maker of impact toys. As I always say on the show, anything paracord. If you could see, here's a paracord snake whip, a leather snake whip that matches my floggers. So I'm kind of killing a little time while I think about the question. Also, all the Patreon supporters, as I call them, are producers. All right. So while I'm thinking of an answer to that question, I'm not at the chat room right now. So Suchi, if you were throwing out some advice there, that would be freaking awesome. But our executive producers, Jeff, Jeremiah, and Silas. And Jeremiah, Silas, you guys need to text me. You've got my number. Jeremiah, I've tried to get in touch with you several times the past month and a half, 2 months, and I haven't been able to. So I hope you're all right. Hit me up. Let me know what's going on. Silas, man, we need to get on the phone. So anytime through the week, on Saturdays, let me know. Text me. I texted you today to let you know that we're going to be live tonight. So let's hook up on the phone. Senior producers, Matt, talked to you today too on Facebook. Dude, good to hear from you. Thanks so much for your continued support. But Matt and Jeremy are producers. Kane Sin, Danny, also known as Princess Puddles, who is in the chat room right now. Thank you so much. Heather, you rock. Our junior producers, K2SO, Irish Mountain Dragon, Fun Size's very own husband, and Buffalo Dom 84. It's almost like I've said that before. If you'd like to become one of our show producers, go to our website, cauldronscript.com/support to get that information. All right, so back to the discussion. Now that I've filled enough time to kind of think about it a little bit. She says it's a bit difficult to explain while I'm distracted, but 1 second I will try. Well, that's no fun. Oh, she's responding to what's a BG. Baby girl? BG? Yeah, she's not a little, she's a baby girl. There is a difference in a little and a baby girl. And I said she was a little because she does go by a little one, but then so do a lot of people. Main thing, I would like to interact, but I wouldn't just approach a kid and start talking. Yeah, I love you. That's awesome. So wondered if I should approach like a kid or talk normal or kitty talk. Well, I mean, obviously, if you're talking to them while they're in headspace, approaching them in a scene, and there's a thought about that. Maybe is that the time to approach them, or should you only approach them when they're not in that little headspace? It really, there again, the answer depends. I usually just make sure that when I talk to someone who is in a little headspace, I'm coming across as compassionate because they can be hypersensitive. So any kind of criticism, any kind of tone that may appear to be criticism or punishment is going to affect them negatively. And if it's not your little, you really don't need to be affecting them. Another thing that I would suggest is maybe talking to them and asking them when they're not in a little headspace, what is best? How do they like to be approached? And I mean, you and I know a lot of the same people, and I can't of them that wouldn't want to talk about it, whether it's at an event, at a munch. Just make sure that you catch them before they're getting into that headspace. Flo Nightingale, talk to her, man. She is one of the most knowledgeable, awesomest people on that particular topic. And I know she would disagree with that more than likely. She's a humble person, but Rhett Butler and Flo Nightingale, they're going to be at the event in September. They're two of our instructors, and Rope, and the opportunity to talk to them there as well. If you don't go ahead and just message them and start the conversation now. But yeah, ask her. When you're in a little headspace and we're at a dungeon or an event or something's going on, should I just stay away? How do I talk to you? If I talk to you as me being me as a grown-up, is that going to throw you out of your headspace? Should I just let you be and you only interact with your littles? That's a freaking awesome question. And you can really learn a lot and bond, learn a lot about somebody that way. Just about everybody that asks me questions about what involving kink, and they're coming at it with a true sense of wanting to learn about me personally, not just about, Cauldron's Crypt and what I do here, but about Cauldron or about Ryan, which is my real name. I have no problem with that at all. And that is going to build friendship because you care enough to ask. And Lady Katie, that just in the fact that you're asking that question and me knowing you personally, that if you just approach them with the same compassion that you obviously have wanting to ask that question and not screw with their headspace, then you're golden. You're not going to have a problem. And it is awkward. It's weird, especially, and I don't mean they are weird. I mean, the situation itself is weird for somebody who is not a little, cannot relate to that. Like somebody with a foot fetish. I still always ask the person that I meet that has a foot fetish, I ask them about it because I want to be able to understand it. And they see that. I've never had a single person go, oh, you're just a judgmental prick, because they know that, no, I want to learn. I want to be able to understand it. And maybe I never will, but I will never stop trying to learn. So they see that and respect it. Wow, it's hard for me to keep up with the chat, but I love it. Keep it coming. Yeah, Suchi makes such a good point here. Every baby girl, every little, every middle has a very different perspective. They are different people. They play it completely different. The little girl, little boy, and the primal positions, to me personally, has the most broadest arena for characters. And that's harder to find. I know DC, some of you have heard me talk about him in the early episodes, if you've listened to those, or in person. DC was a submissive of mine of sorts. It was a long distance thing. And he's got a play partner. He's huge into rigging, he's a rope bunny or a rope boy. And he texted me a couple days ago, asked me about Primal Play. What is it? Unfortunately, I was driving. I was on a long trip and I couldn't respond right away, but I'll get back to him this weekend. But he's wanting me to break down Primal Play, and Primal Play really breaks down so simply. You let yourself go with that lizard brain, your inner beast, and you be free. Primal Play in its finest can put people in the hospital. I have seen people, and this was back before I even knew that there was such thing as primal play, but people just unleashing on each other, and it got bloody and brutal, and she ended up with a broken rib. He ended up with a broken arm. Both of them, one person that was a frequent play partner, both of theirs, another guy, ended up with his bottom teeth coming out his bottom lip. I mean, they went, and this was in a public space, and everyone had been alerted, and they went through proper protocol for doing what they did. But my God, it was violent, and it was beautiful because of the passion and the intensity. It was just simply amazing to watch. And I've taken part in scenes very similar to that. Luckily, not quite the broken bones and things of that nature, but just unleashing yourself and letting go and diving into it. But to get back to the original topic, there's such a broad spectrum of ways that you can play it, just like the mommy, daddy, little girl, littles, middles, tweens, teens, adult, diaper, baby, lovers, whatever. And I've been chewed out before for classing an adult, baby, diaper. Yeah, however that is. For classing them in with littles and middles, and baby girls and baby boys. Like, no, it's different. I don't regress. I just like wearing a diaper and sucking on a pacifier. Okay, fine. That's your thing, and I respect that. It's not my kink. I don't judge it. It's just not my kink. But it is often related to that. And a lot of people that are in that, I'd say probably 40, 50% do regress, if not more. Just trying to think about my personal experience with the ones that I have met. And I'm thinking only about half of them actually regress to a little state. It was more of a humiliation thing for a lot of degradation, that type of thing. And man, those are some fun plays. I really get into the whole humiliation, degradation thing, though I feel a little bit guilty about it. All right. For second nymph, Cauldron, how does one dip their toe into primal without getting devoured? LOL. For second nymph, that is an awesome question, and it's one that I get a lot, which is one reason I think it's such a good question. And I'm going to do a show just on primal alone, or not just on the topic of primal. I'm not doing it alone. Fun Size and I will be doing it, of course. And I'm trying to get a guest for that. There's somebody that I know years ago that I have reached out to. I haven't heard anything back yet, so fingers crossed for me on that one, because they would have a lot of insight. It's 6 degrees of separation there, but I'll go ahead and say it. I'm trying to get in touch with Makita, the first person that I truly took this journey with. I found somebody on Facebook that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows her, and says that she's alive and doing well, but reaching out has been difficult. Anyway, so how do you dip your toe into primal? You find somebody you trust. That's it. And that you trust, I don't mean somebody that you kind of know, that you kind of trust, or that you think you know, or that you think you trust. I mean, you need to find someone that you absolutely trust. Someone that can control their primal urges, someone that has experience with it, someone that knows how to let themselves go, but ball themselves up in a bubble, I guess. Because that's when I'm entering primal play, I picture this each and every time. Taking all of my humanity, and I visualize it, and I know that's kind of hoodoo for a country boy like me with a good old southern drawl, but I will visualize my humanity being put in this bubble. And it's not a security bubble where you can't break through, and it's not a very fragile, like easy to just pop bubble. It's one with realistic securities attached to it. And that will just kind of come out and literally float around and enter back into my brain. And it is back there, and it is waiting for an emergency. It's like it's a smart bubble, I guess. Instead of a smartphone, it's a smart bubble, because it knows. I've been in a situation recently, twice, one with wifey and one with subby to be trainee. And both times it was, okay, I am on the verge of completely letting go. If I do this, I'm going to hurt them. They can be rugged, but they are not as rugged as I am. So you draw it back, and that bubble just kind of pops and outpours my humanity. And it's like, nope, I got to stop right now, because I'm about to completely unleash the beast, whatever. And that's no good. So to answer your question again, you just really have to trust somebody. If you need some help with that, if you want to talk about it more, I think you've got my phone number. If not, message me and I'll give it. We can talk about it more. All right. My label is primal. Yes, Lady Katie. For me, it's more of the mindset. Sorry, my screen is so far away. It's more of the mindset that letting go, doing what feels right to me, despite society's way of life. Yeah, I like that. And for a lot of people, that's what it is. Not caring so much. Personally, I think that's more of a renegade if you're not letting the animalistic side out. I mean, guttural sounds, biting, growling, that eye contact, staring somebody down, forcing them to submit or to challenge. She's a dominant as well. And when I put her in that situation, or when she will put me in that situation and stare me down, she's only going to be able to hold out so long. That's just the nature of our relationship. She will eventually look away, and I will take her down. And that's what she wants. Love you, baby. So that is the actual primal, that animalistic side, not just, not caring about society and what they want. That is living your life the way you should. If that is the maximum side of the primal relation, then technically, I guess I'd kind of have to argue. But I mean, I'm not saying you personally, Lady Katie, because we have had conversations about that. But yeah. That's the way to see it. I do what comes naturally to me and what feels good to be natural. Absolutely. Yeah, I get really growly. Of course, anybody that's seen me play, I do that just in play. I might be flogging somebody and have them on the cross, wrap around them, squeeze them, and bite them on the neck or on the back or the back of the leg. It doesn't matter. And growl in their ear. And that's just me. And some people with me because of that. Other people, it's not. And other people will talk to me about it. I see you play, you get a little bit too passionate. I'm just into the physical pain, the primal stuff. Can you do that for me? Absolutely. And I'm going to enjoy that scene as well, but Princess Puddles. Yeah, she has definitely been one that has felt the sting of my toys and my paddle. In fact, she has a beautiful picture on her page from a paddle. Let me get that because I need to do something anyway. All right, Lerms, if you have not said anything and you're in the chat room, you might want to go now. I'm only showing. That's about right. 3% of listeners in the chat room is actually a good number. Yeah, what I think of as my primal is the vibration type pull I have with some partners that makes me want to crawl onto their skin. Literally, it makes me shake to hold back. Ooh, Forsaken Nymph. I like that. Just to be honest with you, that is sexy. All right, so who has one of my paddles? If you would sound off in the chat room, let me know who has one. Well, Suchi, you should have one. All right, well, tell you what, instead of, yeah, Danny, you earned yours. It's bloodstained. Not I. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, let's just do this a different way. You don't have to sound off. I think those that have, if you would like to win a paddle, absolutely not, baby masochist, remember? Yeah, Forsaken Nymph says I saw the pic of Puddles. It was awesome. It really is. Uh, freaking amazing. That was me. I did that, and I'm so proud of it. All right, if you would like to win a Cauldron's Crypt paddle, it's bamboo. It is very much an owie. If you're a bottom, this is a great addition. If you're a top, be careful with it. Do not use the side with the print on it on anybody that you don't want to give it to because it will blood bond with them. It is an evil little bee. This one, I have all caps on there. As you can see, this is not the one that I'm giving away. I've got a brand new in the bot home that I will be giving to someone. So how we're going to do this, we're going to pick a number from 1 to 20. And I don't have a pen on me. So before you start writing numbers, let me write a number on here. Okay. I got a number on here. So whoever gets closest or this number will win the paddle. So go ahead, throw your numbers out there, a number between 1 and 20. Suchi says 100. Suchi, it's a beautiful little wall hanging or something just to have. You don't have to take it to. You can just leave it at home. 12, 13, 12. That's my middle age. Oh, you're a tween. I'm not giving Daddy any ideas. Just two people want the paddle. If you're watching this on YouTube, cauldronscrypt.com/live. I'm not doing any of the chat over on the Google Hangouts YouTube live stuff, so I haven't looked in it in some time. Doobie doobie doo. Oh, wow. I didn't realize. I just now looked at the video on my screen. I've been looking at the chat room because it's on different windows. And I didn't realize that that red was standing out so loudly in the background. That's pretty freaking cool. If anybody wants to jump in here with me, I can do that as well. If you want to get on just audio or video and jump in here and have a conversation, that is an option for anyone who would like to do that. Oh, there was a conversation of my toy box as well. I don't think she is here fortunately. I said that I was going to picture my toy box in an episode, and somebody recently reminded me of that. And that was back when it was the guitar case. Well, I don't use it anymore. I have the bags, and these are horse tack bags. Oh, there's still stuff in that. And no, I didn't hang those up here to be all, ooh, sexy, frame the shot for the show. I actually hung those up there the last time I played as just a place to keep them off the floor, and they just happened to look nice up there. So I thought I'd leave them there until we get done, because then I got somebody that needs some fresh pretties on her behind. Maybe. She deserves them. But anyway, I forgot where I was going with that. All right. So, oh, yeah, these are my bags. They are made for horse tails. Show horses, they actually use a faux tail. So they will cut hair from another horse, make a tail out of it, and then they strap it on to the show horse. Most people don't realize that, but these bags are made to travel with those horse tails. Each one holds two, so they've got two sewn in little clips with them, and I hang carabiners from them. As you can see, I'm a huge fan of carabiners. Hand me that, please. This is just a clothes hanger, like portable, so it's something cool if you got a lot of toys you want to carry around with you. So I could pack those bags. These actually fold up and come apart, and I could put one of these in the bag and take it with me other places. He like his horse tail whips to travel safe. So it's like a weave for a horse. Yeah, very much it's like a weave for a horse. More like a butt wig for a horse. And who doesn't need a little more hair on their booty? Oh, show horses. I think those are actually tail bags for horses. Yes, they are. That's what those are, tail bags for horses. Hand delivered, that sounds like. And oh, don't show that. Yeah. Looks awesome. So we had two people. I was waiting to see if there's butt wig. I was waiting to see if anybody else was going to come on over. Shh, he's coming back, she says. Coming over from YouTube. Doesn't look like it. So let me scroll back up here. We had Lady Katie said 13. Forsaken Nymph said 12. And the magic number, please not 100, please. So the number was 14. So that means, oh, you vote that we donate the paddle to Suchi. So Lady Katie, you were the closest without going over, so you are the winner. And Forsaken Nymph, I tell you what, I'll see what I can do. Hand deliver it, boy. Have you forgotten who you're talking to? Oh my God. Wow. You do something nice for somebody and they in turn, at least you spelled that B-O-Y and not B-O-I. We'd have some real issues then. All right. Well, this was only supposed to be an hour long. It's gone on for about an hour and a half now. I will just pouty face Lady Katie for a scene. Okay. Well, yeah, pouty face Lady Katie for a scene. And if you want to chat about Primal, if you want to see it kind of, and I'm not like offering my services to you or anything like that. Just so brashly, but I'm more than happy to help you out with learning more about it, is what I'm trying to say. And it's hard to say that without sounding really freaking creepy, but I don't mean it that way. And I think everybody in this chat room anyway understands that. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you. God, thank you so much for jumping online with me. It's been a heck of a conversation. I'm going to try to do this every other week. May become a weekly thing, unless I have a party or something to go to. If you like what you hear, share it, as they say in the podcasting world. As long as nobody has any last questions or anything, I mean, I've got all night, so I could babble on for the next 2 hours. But are there any last minute questions? Aw, Lady Katie, love you too. Miss you dearly. And yes, let's fix this. We need to get together. Maybe next Saturday, let's get together. She could jump on chat, so she thanks everybody. She could, for some reason, she was having issues with it in chat. I think she was probably on her phone and having technical difficulties on there. So she says hello to everyone. Had fun. Thanks for the invite. Of course. Text me and we'll plan it. Good deal. All right. Wonderful podcast. Thank you. Thank you so much for Second Nymph. And like I said, holler at me if you have my number and you would like it. Just a message. I will say 865-268-4005 is the Google Voice number for the show. That only comes through to me in a form of voicemail. I don't actually talk on that number. All right. Thanks, everybody. That's going to wrap it. This has been Master Cauldron for CauldronScript.com. Unearth the truth. Hey, you guys got to hear it live. People think I have that recorded. See you. Bye. Love you all.